Hello, thanks for joining me for Feel Good Flow. I'm Heather, and I'm happy to be able to offer you a practice you can do any time of day, really, but just to help get your body moving, feel more awake and energized, and have the rest of the day hopefully, flow a little bit more with ease and enjoyment. So if you'd like to join me, we will start in a seated position. You can always sit in a chair. You can sit on a cushion or two or whatever you've got to be comfortable here. First things first, we're going to allow the lower half of our body to settle and sink down. And from that rooting down, we're able to rise up a little bit more through the upper body and align, come into a better alignment for yourself. And when I'm aligning myself, I like to come in towards the center and visualize the central channel that runs from the root to the crown. Allow the shoulders to release and soften. You can close your eyes, start to transition so that you're able to better experience your inner world. So we're starting to move from the outer world. We're often just solely there. And we're starting to bring our attention, our focus back to ourselves. And we move from, when we do this, we move from a place sometimes solely of just thinking to more of a place of feeling. And it's a good thing. We get to know how we're doing, how we're feeling. Do a good check-in here. And noticing if there's anything that you need to take care of today within yourself, or something, that's come to your attention. If your energy's lower, maybe needing more rest. If your energy's, you've got a lot of energy, probably today's a day to do a bit more. We'll turn the attention now to the breath. A wonderful way to bring yourself into balance, physically, emotionally, mentally, energetically, is to breathe in more rhythmically with a slower, steadier, even pace to your inhale and your exhale. So, and just being aware of your breath as it comes in, sinks down, fills up your body, and releases all the way back out. We can use our breath as that way to help invoke a bit more inner calm, to release whatever we need to release, and so that we can more fully come into the present moment. And today, if you want to place your hands on your side ribs, alternately, if you had a belt, you could always belt. If you had one accessible, you could always loop it around like I'm doing, cross it in front. Just if you want to relax your shoulders a little bit more here. Also, this helps you to feel more right through your whole back. But hands work too if you don't have a belt, no problem. Thumbs, try to get your thumbs on the back of your body, fingers on the front. And just, if you're using the belt, I'm just holding it tight enough to feel it right around this area. You're just above the floating ribs here. When you breathe in, feel your breath expand and widen through this area. Not so much the front right here, but more the sides and your back. And continue to focus on breathing this way. This is really helping to open up the diaphragm and make sure we're exercising it to help tone it, to help make sure it can open as wide as it's meant to. If we underuse it, we might not access a deeper breath. So again, if you're using hands, you're just feeling that and you're breathing in slowly, widening, expanding, breathing out, releasing, feeling your middle release. Do about 2 or 3 more breaths like that. It's good to bring a smile to your face. A smile can often affect this area of your body too. So you might feel more a sense of ease in yourself and you're able to open up. You can even imagine as you're breathing here, you're actually breathing into an imaginary like smile, how it's like a half curve here. And keep that smile, even though you're releasing your ribs and back. Energetically, you're keeping that smile. We'll do one more. It's so good. And at the end of this exhalation release, you can come back to center, release your belt, release your hands. Take a moment to feel your breath. Continue to feel here and notice if your breathing feels perhaps different. Maybe it's easier to breathe in and out. It just flows better. You might notice that. Just for the upper back and shoulders, we're going to inhale, lift up towards the ears, and on the exhalation, release. We'll do that 2 more times. And 1 more time like that. And a few times rolling the shoulders slowly. You can inhale, lift forward, up, and exhale back and down. And then let's reverse those circles. Inhale and up and then down. 1 more breath like that. And then we'll release. Come back to center. Just a little movement in your head and neck. As a nice, slow, steady roll from side to side. Loosening up your neck. This time, as you turn your head one way, let's actually lift the chin and look over that shoulder for a moment. And then angle the chin down towards that shoulder. And release it back to center. We're going to roll it to the other side. And this time again, lifting your chin, looking over your shoulder. And then as you exhale, dropping your chin down. And releasing back to center. Okay, slowly lifting your head back up. We're going to bring our legs out of this position. And just for a moment, bring your feet together in whatever position feels good. If your feet are closer in, you might feel this more deeply. Your feet can be a little bit more out in front. A little bit of movement here to loosen up your hips. So I'm just bouncing the knees gently up and down a few times. Getting that energy to flow from the pelvic area through the hips, down the legs, up through the feet. If you'd like on your next inhale, just lift your knees up a little bit more and exhale to lower. And we're not pushing down, we're just gently lowering. Inhale, lift, and exhale, lower. 1 more time like that. Okay, sitting up nice and tall, coming over for a moment. And I'm just keeping my spine nice and straight, again, from root to crown. It's a good way to come back to yourself. 1 more breath here. And then as you inhale, come back to center. This time we'll bring our Hands to the outsides of the knees, push the legs back together and flip the feet to the side. We'll come over into a tabletop pose. Today we might loosen up through the hands and wrists, or sorry, through the wrists and ankles. So if you want to lift your feet and roll them out a few times here. And remember, you can always pad your knees if you need to. And then we'll go lean back on the feet just a little bit. You can even curl your toes under if you want a deeper stretch here. We're going to turn the hands around so the palms face out, and a nice gentle stretch for the wrists. And then followed by coming up and doing some wrist circles. So loosening up here. Feel that rotation right at your wrist joint. Loosening things up before we come down again into a tabletop position. For the cat-cow, starting to move deeper through your spine as you exhale, arching. Inhale, slowly look forward. Continue to float with your breath. Back and forth here through your back. With your breath. Okay, you can exhale, deepen. Okay, so this time as you exhale, stronger breath out. Breath that you can hear, maybe through your mouth. And pull that belly up. Good. And we'll do 2 more breaths like that. Awesome. All right, inhale, come back to center. And now we're gonna just brace ourselves on the left side and we're gonna lift the right leg up, and you can keep your knee bent. And this time we're gonna rotate a little bit more through the hip. So a little bit of hip circling here. We'll move in one direction and then we'll switch. You can start with smaller circles and get bigger. This is a good way to strengthen, of course, too. And then you can bring your knee down and just sink back for a moment into child's pose. Let your head come down. Breathing into your back. Inhale to rise back up again into table. Lift and extend your leg this time, parallel to the floor. Angle the front of your thigh down towards the floor to balance the hips here. For a breath or two, if you'd like to also extend out through your opposite arm, the left arm, holding this core strengthening, pulling apart with your hand, reaching forward, foot reaching back, and then slowly lowering down. We're going to bring this knee in, lift the belly like we did in the cat, and see if you can pull that foot right forward into lunge. And if your hips are a little tight today, feel free to move back and forth. Feel free to use some blocks underneath. Okay, and then we're going to come up onto that back foot. All right. I just realized when I come up, what I'd like to try to move into next is the warrior 2, but I'm going to be facing back. So I'm actually, you stay where you are. I'm just going to turn myself around so I'm not facing backwards. So we're right foot forward. We're going to look at that back foot, drop the heel, brace yourself to come up to standing, and keep bending that right knee in line with your toes and go back and forth a little bit. And generally, if you want, your heels could line up, or the center, the heel, the front heel, the left, right heel with the center of your back foot. Okay, we're going to come up through the arms, breathing here. Holding for one more breath in warrior two. From here, we're going to drop the back arm down. So that would be the left arm. And reach up. If you'd like to look up, you can. You can also keep your gaze on the wall. And one more breath here. And on your exhalation next time, let's float over that leg and brace ourselves here, coming into side angle. Reaching through that arm, feeling that lovely extension right through. Then we'll come down. So I'm going to reach with that arm back down towards the lunge position. And from lunge, we're going to look back and step back into downward facing dog. And you can alternate the bending of the knees here for a few breaths to help loosen up tight legs, ankles, calves, especially here. So lift up through your hips. And then we're going to come down into plank. Breathing here. So if you want, you can do half plank. It's good to do this first to get your alignment from your root to your crown, from your knees to your head, and then just add the lower legs. You can also come down onto your forearms if this is too much for your wrists. Okay, from here we'll come back down into half plank, and we're going to release right down onto the belly. So slowly lower down. Slide your arms out in front with your head down. And then bring your hands back in, lifting yourself up, and we'll come into Sphinx. So elbows are underneath the shoulders here. Considering this is our first back bend of the day, we're just giving our back spine time to loosen up. This is a wonderful, gentle back bend. Breathing here. And when you're ready, you can slowly come down. You can just move your elbows up to the side. Slide your hands underneath your shoulders again. We're going to push up and come all the way back to child's pose. Breathing here. Okay, so we're going to rise back up to table when we're ready. I'm just going to, you stay where you are again. I'm going to flip around so I'm not facing the wall for the next, the other side of our body here. I'm going to start with some hip circles so you can lift that left leg now. Start with small movement. Keep that knee bent. Moving in the opposite direction a few times. And just feel that out. And just for a break, release your leg down, let your hips sink back. Reach forward with your arms. Inhale to come back up to center. We are going to raise the left leg. This time parallel to the floor. Extend back with your leg, your foot, reaching back. Turn the front of your thigh so that it's pointing down towards your mat. Bouncing out through the hips. With the right arm, you can reach and extend. One more breath here. And then slowly release. And as you release, we're going to bring that knee in. Cat tilt, lift your belly, arch your spine to bring that left foot forward into a lunge. You go back and forth a few times. Okay, it's time to come up onto your back foot. And look at that back foot. You can push back for a moment in the raised lunge. And then we're gonna pivot the foot, heel coming down and slowly coming up. So you might just push into your leg there with your arm. And once you feel steady, come up to standing, readjust your feet if you need to. When you're ready, reach through your arms into warrior two. Find a spot to gaze at. Keep your focus steady there. Soft gazing. There's an outward gazing. At the same time, there's an inward gazing. You're feeling your entire self, feeling your breath. And then exhale, dropping down through the right arm, lifting up to the left, opening here. And the next time you exhale, we're going to come back to warrior two and then reach and extend over into side angle. So slowly lift that right arm up and over. You can do just a slight adjustment. You might notice that your chest is aiming down towards the floor. If you want, you can just slightly lift and open upwards through your chest. You might even look up. And then we'll come over and we're going to come right down back into that lunge. Okay, lifting your hips, looking back, stepping back into downward dog. Okay, walking the legs out from side to side. 2 more big breaths here. From here, we're going to come forward. So we're just bring your body forward. You might slide your feet back a little bit, come into your plank. Engage through your core, holding for 1 more breath. You can drop your knees and then slowly lower down, bending your elbows, or you can try chaturanga, which is slowly lowering down from bending your whole body, from bending your elbows there. Okay, and then we're gonna come into a nice gentle cobra with breath a few times as you inhale up and as you exhale down. Try not to push too hard with your hands into your mat. Just use them for support and have this come from your core. Lifting here up and down. Ooh, 1 more breath like that. This time, inhale, come up into your place. If you're working on strengthening the core and the back, you can take your hands away for a moment. And wherever you are, just stay there and then lightly place your hands underneath again. And we'll stay here for 2 more breaths. And come down. You can slide your hands down a little bit more. Push down into the floor, curl your toes under, lift up off your belly. And you might come back with your hips into child's pose once again. Okay, we'll stay here for 2 more breaths. And then when you're ready, we're going to come back up. We're going to curl the toes and walk the hands in towards the knees. And then we're going to transition back up to standing for another pose or 2. But if you'd like, you can stay in the squat. So I'm in the squat. You can, if this is okay for your knees, you can also try the supported squat, which you take a couple blocks and sit on them with your knees a little in a softer bend there. Okay. And from this squat, we're going to come up onto the feet, reposition them so the toes are pointing forward. Bracing yourself here. Knees are bent, hands just above the knees, chair pose. Strengthening. And take the arms out. So really engaging through your legs. Pressing through your heels. We're going to start to slowly rise up and we're going to reach up, right up through the arms. Good. Breathing here. On your next exhalation, come over to the side in a side bend. And on your next inhale, come back to center. Exhale, other side. And inhale back to center. Exhale, down, hands down in front. Releasing through. You might even push your hands down a little bit further. So instead of staying at heart level, start to push your hands. They're still trying to stay together, but pushing them down closer towards your navel. Nice stretch for your hands, your wrists. And then releasing and reaching back and arms reaching up. We're going to circle the arms all the way back. Okay. And we'll reverse that direction. Inhale, reach back, lift up, and exhale down in front. One more time like that. Inhale, lift and open. Exhale, roll back. Inhale, reach up and lift and exhale down in front. Good. And then inhale, come back to center. Exhale, sink down with your feet. And we're going to come into a balancing pose next. So we're going to have our left foot on the floor. And we're going to try to lift up through the right leg, balancing here. Okay, if you need the wall, or maybe you're close to a wall, you can use it for support if you need, until you feel steady. Okay, try to bring your knee in line with your hip, so right stacked underneath it. Pausing here just to open the quad, to stretch here for a moment. And then you might start to come into this dancer's pose. You're going to push back a little bit with your foot, so your knee comes back. And if you feel steady, you can reach out through your other arm. Finding your gaze here. Your focal point is very important to help keep you steady. And stay here for one more breath. And then you can slowly release and let go of your foot. Come back to center. Body releasing. The charge of energy that flows through and in each posture. It's good to take a moment just to feel that. Switching the weight to the other side, standing so that you're not falling into your arch, but you're standing evenly, toes spread as much as you can. Come up through the other foot and just for a moment, just feeling that stretch in your quad. Okay, your knee comes back. You push your foot back. Keep your knee in line with your hip, so it's not lifting up out to the side. Go straight back, reaching forward, finding your focal point. Beautiful pose. Find your place here. One more breath. Slowly releasing, coming back to center. Okay, taking a moment just to feel that inner mountain. Feel your breath and smile again and feel that smile spread through your middle, opening you up. Okay, we're going to widen apart with the feet. And if you want to bring your hands together, pushing out, straight out in front. And then reaching back and seeing if you can interlace your hands together here. If not, you can always hold on to a belt with your hands wider apart. Okay. And we're going to reach back, opening, opening, opening as we start to tilt forward from the hips. You can keep a soft bend to your knees, keep your upper body aligned, keep your neck in line with your spine, reach up. Pausing here for one more breath. And when you're ready to come up, plant your feet, bend your knees, inhale on the way back up. Keep your hands together for a moment behind you. Okay, we're going to try that one more time. Okay, so when you're ready, keep your hands firmly together, reach up. Opening the arms, opening the shoulders. And when you're ready, come back to center. Slowly release, let go. Feel your shoulders here. Inhale, let your arms float up. And on your exhale, come all the way down. And let your head hang. It's lengthening your neck, your spine. And then to come back up, plant your feet, bend your knees. We'll slowly rise back up. And we'll step the feet back together. And we're going to come back down onto the mat. So we're going to start in a seated position before we lie down. And let's stretch out through the left leg to start. Let's bend the right knee, bring the foot to the inside of that left leg. Knee down. You might take a little something to lift your up through the hips so that you can, we're going to come forward over this leg. You might even use a belt. You could loop the belt around your foot to come into this forward bend. Okay. You can bend your knee slightly. We're going to come over just to our place, whatever that is today. If you want a little bit more of an active stretch, you're going to make sure your foot's aligned so it's not curving to the side. Use the belt if you have one. Pull on the ends of the belt to straighten out through your foot. Come over that leg for a few breaths. Okay. And stay here. 2 more breaths. Next time you inhale, slowly rise back up. We'll just put the belt to the side. We're going to actually lift this right knee up now. And if you want, you can bring it over to the left side of your, on the other side of your left leg. Sit up nice and tall. Bring your hands around that, the outside of your right knee. Push into it slightly and push your leg back into your hands. Counter pressure it there. Okay, and if you'd like, you can wrap your left arm around the front of that knee and bring your right hand behind you into your twist. Pausing here for a few breaths. And we'll stay for one more breath. Next time you exhale, come out of your position. You can release your leg, shake out through both legs for a moment. You can flex your toes or feet and bring your feet back in. Okay, we'll bend that. We'll try to keep our right foot sort of like that position. Heel extended out, toes pointing back in. For the forward bend, we're going to bring the left leg out to the side. You can also put something underneath that left knee if you need to. If you find it up a little high and it's causing some strain in your hip, you can also try sliding your foot down your leg too. We're going to come into this one. You can pull gently on the ends of the belt if you're using it. If you're not using the belt, obviously you're just reaching as far as you can, comfortably doing what feels good. A reminder, we're doing our yoga practice because we want to feel good. That's the name of the game. So we need to honor and respect our body. Every day can be different a little bit, so we need to work with ourselves. Find balance in our postures where we're not pushing too much. We're not, push. Sometimes we are too comfortable and we just get into a little bit more of a deeper opening. You do, of course, what feels good, of course, but just going to that next place when your body allows you to. And then we'll slowly come back up. You can use the belt for support, pulling on the ends of the belt if you have it, lengthening straight up again. You're gonna lift that left knee. You can pull the leg in and find your seat. You're gonna sink through the sit bones, sit up nice and tall, hands together, pressing on the outer side of your knee, leg pushing back. You might, to deepen this, bring your foot to the other side of your right leg. Okay, if you don't feel that in your hip, you can always bring that other foot back to bending at the knee. So I just slid my right leg so the foot's over to the left hip. Okay, but you can keep your right leg up. That's no problem. We're going to come into our twist. So squeeze and wrap around the front of the elbow meets the front of the left knee, left hand behind, coming into your twist. Staying here for a few breaths. Softening your jaw, especially if you tend to tense up there. You want to relax wherever we can. And when you're ready, you can slowly begin to release from your twist. Come back to center, both legs out in front. Just shake them out for a moment. Sit up nice and tall in your staff pose, Dandasana. So you're sitting through your sit bones. You can root and ground them down, align over top of them from the root to the crown. Okay. And from this pose, we're going, and you also press down through the hands a little bit here. Right? And then we're going to bend the knees. And we're going to slowly start to make our way down onto the mat. So inch by inch from your lower back all the way through. Sink down. You can even do a neck stretch here, holding onto the back of your head with your hands clasped there. Keeping your head slightly lifted off the floor. But at the same time, let your upper back start to sink down. Bring your feet in a little bit closer towards your hips. Press down through your feet. Okay. See if that feels okay for your back. And then bring your head fully down onto the mat. Rock your head a bit from side to side. And with our feet close in towards us, we are ready for bridge pose. So if you want to plant your feet firmly down into your mat, arms down at your sides, this lift will come from the rooting down through the feet. Use your legs and rise up your back. So you might settle into your position here. Let the shoulders take some of that weight. Make sure the neck is long, the chin down towards your chest. Hug your inner thighs in towards each other slightly, just like you're squeezing a ball. One more breath here. And then as you exhale, slowly roll down, inch by inch down your back. Okay, you're helping to lengthen it as you do that. Rock your head. And with your feet a little bit wider, let's actually rock the legs a few times from side to side. You can reach out through your arms for this one and feel how the weight is transferring across your back, across your pelvis from side to side. Giving your lower back a bit of massage here. You can also turn your head in the opposite direction to your legs. Come back to center. And then turn your head the other way. And come back to center. Okay, this time centering the legs and feet and then lifting them up off the floor. We're gonna hug those knees in towards the chest. Rock a little bit, and this helps to massage your back again, but also it helps to broaden, to widen the space of your lower back. So you wanna feel connected as much as you can with your back into your mat, spreading that area there. As you inhale, knees slightly away. So you can bring your hands to the tops of your knees. Exhale, sink back in. 2 more times like that. And 1 more time. And this time, inhale and drop your left foot down. Bring your right ankle across. Press into it for a moment. With your right hand, you're just gently pressing into your right leg here. And then we're going to loop the hands behind the left knee and bring those legs in towards the chest. If your right arm is right there, your elbow, you can push again onto that leg, into the right leg with your arm. Breathing here, let's slowly lift the left leg straight up. And 2 more breaths. And then slowly lower that leg down again. Left foot coming back to the floor. Hug your right knee in towards your chest. And you might even just extend that left leg right out along the floor. Let's all do that actually. And with your left hand, bring it to the outside of your right knee. You can lower your right foot down a little bit and just drop it onto your left leg. If you'd like, we're going to reach out through the right arm, come into a side twist. Pausing here for a few breaths. If this really doesn't feel comfortable to have your left leg extended in this position. You can go ahead, bend both knees. Okay. Your head is turned to the right side. Stay here for 2 more breaths. And then slowly make your way back to center. Right knee in towards your chest. Left leg extended. And release the right side for a moment. Release both legs, just shake them out a little bit. Bend both knees. This time we're going to bring the left knee in towards the chest. And then we're going to angle that ankle, bring it onto the front of your right thigh. Push into the leg for a moment. And when you're ready, if you're ready, you can slide your hands behind that right leg, bring the legs in towards your chest. And you can also lift and extend up your right leg. And then we'll make our way down with that foot again. Release and bring the left knee in towards the chest. Extend straight out through the right leg this time. Okay, you can reach out a little bit with that right heel, toes pointing up. When you're ready, we'll guide the left leg over to the right into a sideline twist. Reaching the left arm straight out. Make sure to keep that left shoulder down on the floor. Rolling over onto the outside of your right hip there. And finding a position that works for you. That feels good. And we're all different. So we will not be, no one will be identical in any posture. That's part of your journey to find what works for you. You might start to feel some release in your hips, your legs, low back. One more breath. And then you can slowly start to come back to center. Roll over onto your lower back again. Bring that left knee in. Let's bring both knees in again. Let's bring that right knee again in again too. Hug the knees. We can move into one more pose here. Let's widen the knees apart. We'll reach for the ankles, reach for the feet, bring the soles of the feet together. And if you'd like, you could stay here, or you can lift your feet up and have fun in the happy baby pose. Okay, so you're holding onto your feet or your ankles. I like to put my hands on the outsides of my feet, but sometimes I also do this with the the index and middle finger wrapped around the big toes. It's totally up to you. But your knees are bent, they're wide. And your feet are up in the air. Good, 1 or 2 more breaths. And then you can lower your feet together again. And slowly release. You might bring your hands to your knees. Bring your feet down. You might want to go into that reclined butterfly for a few breaths. So your soles of your feet together, knees wide apart here. Try to stay as much on your lower back as you can. You can try pressing your feet down into the mat. And that might adjust your pelvis to flatten a little bit there. Come right onto that lower back and sacrum. To come out of this one, you can bring your hands to your thighs, push together. Okay. And release. We'll come into our Shavasana for a few minutes. Just get comfy here. And if you'd like to work with support, the head blocks, they're there above me. You can take something, if you have blocks, bolster underneath the upper legs here can feel really nice. It helps to settle the lower back. If you want, cover up if you're a little cool. And you can place something over your eyes too. And have your arms just a little bit more away from your upper body and palms facing up. Relax your feet, really let them go. And drop out to the sides. I'm gonna release everywhere now and develop a deep sense of relaxation and peacefulness through this pose. And that really comes by letting go everywhere. Releasing all the unconscious gripping and holding that we might do. So just making your way up from your feet, up through your legs. Let your legs sink down. Feel the back of your hips settle and sink. Softening through your hips. Softening through your belly. Your low back. Feel your breath in your torso like a wave, slowly and gently rising with the inhale and releasing with the exhale. And let your breath be free to breathe you now. Let the shoulders settle a bit deeper. Let the arms grow heavier. Hands release, even your fingers are softening. Feel your whole body here. Softening at the neck, the throat, the jaw, teeth apart. Tongue moves softly to the roof of your mouth. Just imagine how the creases on your forehead could smooth out. Anywhere else. Let the back of your head settle deeper. Feel the back of your body in contact with the mat, settling and sinking, heavy. And feel the front of your body as light and open, ever expanding. And as you relax, you open and you do expand. Your energy expands. Your mind is open and relaxed and expanding. It's not fixating, it's relaxed too. Any thoughts do come, just let them come and go without trying to make sense of them or hold on to them, figure it out. Just let them come and go like passing clouds in the sky of the mind. We'll stay here for just another few moments, allowing the body to fully absorb and integrate all the effects of our yoga practice. Then, even before you wiggle your fingers, imagine wiggling your fingers and then start to wiggle them. You can do the same with your toes. And even before you wiggle your toes, just imagine that you're wiggling and start to wiggle. Deepening your breath, starting to gently move around. Do any last stretch that feels good. Maybe a full body stretch. Okay, in preparation to roll over onto the side. Okay, we'll start to do that soon. But when you're ready, of course. Coming up slowly and gently, enjoying the peaceful qualities that come from our practice, especially Shavasana. So we want to just allow ourselves to now kind of merge this experience with right away moving on with our day. And knowing that we can come back to ourselves anytime. Because you are peace. You can say that affirmation silently or out loud too is great. I am peace. Peace is always within me. And it is my birthright to feel peaceful and relaxed. Thank you so much. Namaste. I hope you have a wonderful day, and we'll see you again soon.